My name is Jeff Ballabon, and I am the Senior Counsel for International and Government Affairs here at ACLJ. I came to work with ACLJ many years ago on a whole host of issues, on religious liberties issues generally here in the United States, on freedoms around the world, but also very much because Jews are a very small population in this country. I don't think people realize that Jews are only 2% of the population in 10 states. There are 30 states in which Jews are 1% or less of the population, almost non-existent as a political force. And so Jews who are increasingly, as we see, embattled, and anti-Semitism has gotten worse and worse in the last few years, we rely for protection on the goodwill of Americans who care, who actually care about that. And ACLJ has been at the forefront, not just of religious liberties for all Americans, but religious liberties specifically for those the most embattled. I spend most of my time now based in our Jerusalem office, where I run our Israel operations, but I also spend a lot of time back here in the United States. And the truth is, ACLJ is a conduit directly between the leaders of Israel and the leaders not only of the United States in Washington, but at the state level, which has become increasingly important in the last few years. Well, in terms of the United Nations, an NGO is a non-governmental organization which has a unique status. You have to be officially recognized by the United Nations. And as an NGO, the ACLJ is able to interact, comment, and actually, Jay Sekulow has actually been at the podium at the United Nations representing the things we care about most here at ACLJ. That includes international freedoms and liberty, and very specifically includes fighting for the state of Israel against, honestly, a terribly anti-Semitic body. The United Nations is flat out anti-Semitic. The battle for fighting against anti-Semitism, fighting against Jew hatred has taken many, many places, many, many fronts. This means international, this means in Washington, this means at the state level, this means at the local level fighting for individuals. ACLJ is needed now more than ever because all of our religious liberties are under attack. It's under attack, the Constitution is under attack. They talk about packing the court openly. They, the left, they don't like the idea of our freedom. They don't like the idea that people could even believe in God. They are attacking our children at the youngest level in schools with messages that are inimical to family life, to any kind of a structure of traditional notions of right and wrong. And we're not trying to say you have to think like us, but they will not allow us to teach our own children. ACLJ fights against that because we fight for the Constitution. The Founding Fathers understood democracy left unchecked, well, that's just mob rule. You have to have the Constitution to protect the most fundamental rights, freedom of faith, of belief, of speech. The work that ACLJ does, nobody else does. And the people who come to us for advice, I don't know if the public understands this. They're the people at the highest levels of government, and not just in America, but around the world. They come to us when they're seeking protection from exactly these kinds of invasions on our privacy.